Hey guys, it's Fred. Welcome back to the Flying WoodShop. Hey, just wanted to give you a quick update on what's going on in the shop. I'm working on a special project for my church. They're going to do a whole bunch of baptisms at the Easter Vigil, the Saturday before Easter Sunday, in about I don't know, a month and a half. And the project is a font or a pool that's octagonal shaped and about 6 to 8 inches deep that the adults, when they're being baptized, can climb into and stand there while the priest pours the water over their head. So the cool thing about this is that it's given me some opportunities to use some techniques that I've never used before. What the priest and I decided to do was to use like a finger joint to get the octagon to made up all the way around. It looks better than a miter joint. A miter joint, think of like a picture frame that just has two 45-degree angles that just kind of push up against each other. With a finger joint, you've got overlapping pieces. You got lots of area for glue to lots of surface for glue, so that you get a really strong bond. So it's going to have a plywood inner liner, and that'll be painted with a special epoxy that's waterproof. And then the outer part's going to be made of maple. And that maple will have those finger joints on the outside, and then there'll be a trim piece around the top. It's going to be about 3 feet wide and about 6 to 8 inches deep, depending on kind of how I finish it up. But enough to hold 20 gallons of water. It doesn't seem like 20 gallons would fit in that, but I did some math and it makes sense. You look at a bathtub and how much water you can fit in there. It doesn't have to be very deep as long as it's wide. So let me show you some of the stuff that I've been working on to kind of prep to get ready to make this project. There are a lot of finger joint jigs out there. I made a jig, but a lot of them are pretty fancy and they're made to be not like just a one-trick pony. This one that I made is a one-trick pony. So here it is. This is the finger joint jig, and it's a little different. It's a little different than most because most finger joints are made vertically with a 90-degree angle, but because we're using an octagon, the angles between each corner are 135 degrees. So I had to make this on a 45-degree slant so that I could cut the wood at the proper angle. So let me show you a little more on how this thing's put together. Basically just a 45, 45, 90 triangle with a little back support just kind of to hold it together. And you'll notice there's a piece of wood sticking through here and there's a slot over there. So this wood is used to index. That's a 1/2 inch thick, and there's a 1/2 inch gap between the slot and this next, there's a 1/2 inch gap between the wood and the slot. I'll show you how it works. This is the miter rail. The miter rail sits down in the miter slot, and that keeps the entire jig riding parallel with the blade. You can see that the piece is cut on a 45-degree angle, and we put the end of it flat against the top of the table saw, line it up against the wood index, and start cutting. So we cut the first one, then we move it over. We put the slot that we just created on the indexing block, and continue to cut. What I didn't mention was that I'm using what's called a dado blade. That several blades stacked together makes them extra wide, and you can cut more than just a regular 1/8 inch cut like most saw blades. So we finish it up here, and what it looks like is fingers, and that's why they call it a finger joint, and that'll mate up with its partner. So I did a couple of test pieces with the actual maple, and unfortunately I don't have the video of them actually going together, but I do have them right here put together. I started the glue up on those. So that's how they go together. You can see that they have a 135-degree angle. And these are just some scraps I had laying around, but I put quite a bit of glue on there, and that's going to help that to all the little gaps to get filled and everything. And when I do the real thing, I'll be filling the gaps and making sure they're nice and tight so that you can't see anything through. But you can see it's a little rough at the edge grain, the end grain. So what's going to happen after this glue sets up, I'll take the hand plane and I'll just run it across, and that's actually the best direction to use the hand plane because you're going with the grain. It's like petting a dog. You want to pet the dog from head to tail. You want to do the same thing when you're using the plane on the wood, whether it's the hand plane or the power plane. So that's the update for today. It's pretty neat project. Hope you guys enjoyed watching it. As you can see, I didn't get a chance to clean the workshop today. This is what it usually looks like. It's kind of a mess, but sometimes out of chaos comes order. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.